Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Anime Octopus, and today we're diving into a fanfic discussion you won't want to miss. Our topic is, what if Naruko became Rias' new devil? Part 3. Before we jump in, a quick disclaimer, all content here is for entertainment and discussion purposes only. I do not own any of the anime footage used in this video. All rights and credits go to their respective creators and copyright holders. Alright, let's get started. It was early morning, the day after Issei's resurrection and Naruko's surprising encounter with the fallen angels. Naruko, now back in her guise as an ordinary Kuo Academy student, wove her way through giggling girls and laughing boys at the school gates. She wore the standard Kuo Academy uniform, leaving the top two buttons of her blouse casually undone, which gave her just the right amount of ease without looking sloppy. As she stepped into the familiar school foyer, she came to a sudden stop. Someone was approaching, and Naruko could sense it, a devil, though a rather timid one. She quickly ran through the list of reincarnated devils at Kuo and guessed who it was. Uzumaki-san? A voice called from her right. Naruko turned, her golden eyes sparkling with curiosity, and saw Genshiro Saji, Sona Citri's loyal pawn. He had short blonde hair and soft gray eyes, dressed in the boy's uniform, albeit without the blazer and with his sleeves rolled up. Unfortunately, he kept the tie, which Naruko silently judged to be a fashion misstep. Yes, Saji, what do you want? Naruko asked, her voice playful. And just so you know, if this is you asking me on a date, I'm afraid I don't swing that way. But Kiba's cute if you're looking for someone to chase. Her golden eyes gleamed with mischief as she teased him. Eh? Saji sputtered, losing all composure. What are you talking about? No. His flustered rambling ended abruptly as a chorus of giggles and whispers erupted from nearby students. Realizing he had just been tricked, Saji's face turned bright red, and he froze, feeling the rumor mill start to churn. Now, Saji, your daydreams aside, if you're not here to proposition me, what is it? Naruko asked, tilting her head with an amused smile. I'm here on behalf of Keiku Sona Citri, Saji stammered, straightening up. She would like to meet you in the student council room. If you'll follow me. Ooh, that sounds fun. Lead the way, Saji-chan, Naruko replied, enjoying the tiny twitch of panic on his face at the nickname. As they walked toward the student council room, Naruko's curiosity began to bubble. Deciding she wanted to investigate a little on her own, she paused and shot Saji a firm glare. Her golden eyes shimmered with a playful "don't you dare follow me" look. I think I can find my own way from here, Saji. You may leave, she said gently but firmly. Saji froze like a deer caught in headlights, then scampered away as soon as Naruko's eyes softened, leaving her to continue on her own. Suppressing her presence as she moved, she slipped past the detection spell surrounding the student council room, her heart racing with the thrill of discovery. The door to the room was slightly ajar, and with a quiet push, Naruko slipped inside. What she saw made her grin. Keiku Sona was dancing around the room, singing to a song playing from a small speaker, completely unaware of Naruko's presence. Making my way downtown. Walking fast. Faces pass. Naruko barely stifled a giggle as she watched Sona sway to the music. She had always imagined Sona as prim and proper, but here she was, completely free and full of life. It was a side of her that few got to see. And I need you. And I miss you. Deciding it was the perfect moment to reveal herself, Naruko sang loudly from the doorway. 'Cause you know I'd walk 1,000 miles, if I could just see you tonight. Sona spun around, eyes wide with shock, frozen mid-step. Her face went pale, then a deep pink as she realized who was standing there, grinning with playful delight. Naruko had concealed herself perfectly with her clever magic, and now she chose the moment to surprise Sona fully. For what felt like an eternity, they simply stared at each other. Naruko's grin stretched wider by the second, while Sona tried to process the unexpected visitor in her student council room. Oh, don't mind me, Naruko said cheerfully, moving to the chair behind Sona's desk and leaning back comfortably. Carry on singing. I can wait, or even better, we could sing it together as a duet. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Sona could only gape at the intruder, her face now redder than a ripened strawberry, caught between embarrassment and disbelief. Naruko laughed, a warm, musical sound. I knew it. I knew you weren't as serious as everyone thinks. You're more playful than you admit, like a hidden star waiting to shine. And in that moment, the student council room was filled with music, laughter, and a spark of friendship that promised more delightful adventures to come. Shut up. No wait, what in the world are you doing here? No, wait, since when were you even at my school? Sona shouted, her cheeks turning pink as she recognized the laughing silver-haired girl instantly. That recognition alone sent a whirlwind of questions racing through her mind. How on earth had she not known Naruko was attending her school? Mo so tan, so demanding. Is that really all you have to say to poor old Naruko-sama? Naruko replied cheerfully, clearly enjoying Sona's flustered expression. Though I have to say, you and your sister have more in common than I thought. I can see it already, she's going to chase you around until you agree to be her magical girl sidekick. Don't you dare. Don't even try it. You tell her, and I'll. Well, I don't know what I'll do, but you won't like it. Sona sputtered, her face paling as she imagined exactly what her sister would do if she found out. No, wait. Stop changing the subject. Why are you here? Did Wani-sama send you? Why, so tan, you make it sound like you're not happy to see me. Naruko replied, grinning as she delighted in teasing Sona. And anyway, you should know by now I don't follow anyone's orders. I wouldn't be here unless I wanted to be. As for why? Well, I was bored, and I thought maybe something interesting would happen if I stuck around. Well, I'm definitely not happy to see you, Sona declared, trying to reclaim some of the dignity Naruko had just demolished. And yes, Naruko-sama, I know you're not beholden to my Wani-sama's orders. Which, honestly, is ridiculous. The Citri family would be mortified if anyone found out. Ha ha ha, most of the lords and ladies of the Pillar clans already know. And the fact that Sarafal managed to get me as her queen makes up for any demands I made when she reincarnated me, Naruko said with a smile. Sona's frown deepened, she'd never liked how Naruko had insisted on being free of obligations, even to her own queen. Can you really blame me for setting conditions? I mean, Sarafal is certifiably eccentric. Not quirky, mind you, actually eccentric. I think you're exaggerating a little, Sona defended her sister. Yes, she's a bit odd, but insane? That's too far. Sona, your sister just 6 months ago spent 3 hours chasing me around the Citri estate with toy Pokeballs, shouting, and I quote, wait, Naruko-tan. I need to catch you in my Pokeball. I'm going to be the Pokedevil Grandmaster. Does that sound normal? Naruko asked deadpan, watching Sona's face turn a bright shade of crimson. Well, yes, it is a little weird, but it doesn't mean she's totally insane, Sona stammered, trying to defend her sister. Another example, then. Remember when she chased you around, insisting on having sister-sister love time? Naruko continued. Seeing Sona blush furiously, she smirked. Just last month, she spent 2 hours begging me to henge into you so we could have some Sona-Naruko-Sara fun. Sona's face went green. Please tell me you didn't, Naruko-sama. Please. Naruko just giggled. No. Sona wailed, clutching her face in horror. So, can we agree that your sister is a little eccentric, and that my conditions to avoid her orders were at least somewhat justified? Naruko asked, trying not to laugh at Sona's mortification. Oh okay, I suppose. Somewhat justified, Sona admitted, throwing her hands up. But really, why would you do that? You're just as eccentric as she is. What, me eccentric? Never. I am the very picture of sanity, Naruko declared dramatically, striking a heroic pose. Really? You think so? Don't you remember the stories you used to tell me when I was younger? Sona shot back, launching a counterattack. Stories? You mean telling kids about my heroic adventures? Naruko asked innocently. Yes, but you called yourself Genghis Khan and told endless tales of battles. It probably scarred me mentally, Sona said smugly, pleased with her clever retort. Wait, you liked those stories, didn't you? Tales of peace-bringing quests and adventures in faraway lands? Naruko asked, genuinely curious. I did, but then I realized they weren't just stories. They were true accounts of the times you actually were Temujin, or Genghis Khan, Sona replied, shaking her head with a mix of disbelief and amusement. You sound disapproving, Naruko said thoughtfully. But Sona-chan, in the many years I've lived, I've seen that humans are prone to conflict. My adventures, building empires and uniting people, were my way of creating long-lasting peace. Sure, it was dramatic, but it helped humanity grow, learn, and thrive. Enough heavy talk. How have you been coping in the human world? Student council room, 1 hour later. Naruko had just left the room, leaving Sona alone for 30 seconds before the rest of the student council piled in. They all eyed her curiously, wondering why Naruko had appeared and what she had been discussing for over an hour. Well, Tsubasa Yura, a tall girl with blue shoulder-length hair and matching eyes, said, running a hand through her hair, "Who would have thought Naruko-sama had been here all along? How did none of us notice?" Tsubaki Shinra, a young woman with long black hair and heterochromatic eyes, added, "Keiku, when you told us to prepare for a guest today, I never expected it would be her." "Wait, you knew who she was, Tsubaki-san? I thought Sona Keiku was meeting her because she didn't know." Saji, the only boy in the room, asked, glancing between Sona and Tsubaki in confusion. Sona only sighed, realizing her chaotic hour with Naruko had left her completely speechless. And secretly smiling. Student council room, 1 hour later. Naruko had just left the student council room, leaving Sona Sitri alone for all of 30 seconds before the rest of the student council members piled in. They each took their seats, glancing curiously at Sona, wondering why Naruko had visited her and what they had been talking about for over an hour. "Well," Tsubasa Yura, a tall girl with blue, shoulder-length hair and matching eyes, said, running a hand through her hair with a mischievous grin, "Who would have thought the mysterious Naruko-san had been here all along? How did none of us notice her?" Tsubaki Shinra, a bespectacled young woman with long, straight black hair and heterochromatic eyes, spoke up just after Yura. "Keiku, when you told us to prepare for a guest today, I didn't expect it to be her of all people." "Wait. You knew who she was, Tsubaki-san? I thought Sona Keiku was meeting with her because she didn't know?" Saji, the only boy in the room, asked, his eyes flicking between Sona and Tsubaki in confusion. "You mean you don't know Saji? The illusion or whatever she was using to hide herself is gone now," Momo said, looking surprised. Then, slapping her forehead in realization, she added, "Ah, that's right. You were only reincarnated a couple of months ago. You haven't had a chance to visit the Sitri estates yet, so you probably never saw her wandering around." "Heard what? You're making it sound like Naruko-san is some big deal or something," Saji said, growing more puzzled as the others nodded knowingly. Sona decided to step in. "Yes, I was just as surprised as you are. Naruko-sama, as she has gone back to calling herself, has been around the school all this time. Apparently, she was using some kind of illusion to hide her true presence, making us think she was someone else. It sounded like a powerful technique. It's just a pity she didn't go into the details. Anyway, her being here is unusual." "Sure, you'd think that, Keiku," Tomoe said cheerfully, her shoulder-length reddish-brown hair bouncing as she smiled. "I mean, wherever Naruko-sama goes, your sister Sarafal-sama is bound to follow eventually." Sona sighed. "It's not that I'm worried about her following Sarafal. From what I've heard from Naruko and my sister, she attracts interesting situations wherever she goes. Trouble seems to find her." She paused, then addressed Saji's question. "As for who she is, well, she's practically family in a sense." "Wait, what? You're related to her?" Saji yelled, his mind racing as he compared Naruko's distinctive looks with Sona's. "Is she your sister or something?" Sona grimaced at his outburst. "No, she is not blood-related. She is the queen of my sister Sarafal's peerage and one of the most remarkable people you will ever meet." "Eh? What do you mean, Keiku?" Saji asked, noticing the nodding heads of the others. "She is ancient even by the standards of devils. Her exact age is unknown, but she has been around since the earliest days of our world. She was present during the Great War between the three factions. What she was before becoming a devil, I'm not entirely sure. Some say she was a mystical spirit or a powerful human. Whatever she was, she is wise, strong, and truly extraordinary. Nearly 200 years ago, she became my sister's queen. She has gone by many names, but to most devils, angels, and mystical beings, she is simply known as Naruko." Saji went pale, overwhelmed. "She spends a lot of time with my sister, and their bond is unusual, to say the least. But Naruko has been around the Sitri estate so much that nearly all the peerage has met her." "Yeah, she's amazing," Yura sighed dreamily, thinking of Naruko's bright, determined eyes. "Ah. Calling her anything less than respectful isn't a good idea," Saji murmured nervously. "Exactly. It's not wise to antagonize Naruko-sama," Tomoe said with a grin. "Unless you're a brave, or clever, girl, you might want to think twice before teasing her, Sona Keiku?" Outside the student council room. Naruko hummed happily as she wandered through the school halls, her thoughts drifting back to her conversation with Sona. She had always cherished her role as Sarafal's queen. The devils and fallen angels she had grown close to were more than friends, they were family. Their immortality meant lifelong companionship, and their playful disregard for rules made every day an adventure. Before becoming a devil, Naruko had experienced the pain of losing those she loved, as she could not grant them permanent life. But through her powers and the creation of her peerage, she had been able to bring back friends, comrades, and loved ones into a new life where they could stay together forever. Her peerage was a family she had chosen herself, a collection of those she treasured most, walking the world by her side in joy and loyalty. Her thoughts were interrupted by a familiar, cheerful voice. "Hey, Naruko-san." Naruko stopped and cast an annoyed glare at the excited boy running up to her, Issei Hayao. It wasn't that she disliked him, she just wasn't a morning person, and the sun was barely up. From the look on his face, she already had a hunch about what he wanted. "Troublesome brat," she muttered under her breath. Issei, with his messy brown hair and wide, hopeful eyes, reached for her arm. Naruko stepped back, letting his hands grasp only empty air. "Naruko-san. You remember Yuuma-chan, right? The girl I told you about?" Issei asked eagerly, his voice trembling with excitement. "Yuuma?" Naruko repeated, tilting her head and pretending to think. Then her eyes widened, and a bright smile spread across her face. "Oh. You mean that girl Yuuma?" "Yes. You remember her, so I'm not imagining things." Issei cheered, practically bouncing on his feet. Naruko laughed softly. "Relax, kid. I was just teasing. I honestly don't remember every girl at school." Issei gasped dramatically. "No. You said you remembered her." "Calm down," Naruko said with a grin, strolling away lazily. "Being a little crazy isn't a bad thing, you know. Sometimes it makes life more interesting." "Wait, that's not what I meant." "Hey, where are you going?" "I've got places to be and people to see," Naruko called back cheerfully, her long silver hair bouncing as she disappeared down the path. 2 days later, Occult Research Club. Naruko walked into the cozy Occult Research Club building, her steps slow as she thought about why she had been summoned. Kiba had insisted she come meet the Gremory heiress, and Naruko wasn't in the mood for long meetings, especially so early in the morning. She peeked into the lounge and saw Rias Gremory sitting gracefully on a couch, sipping tea. Her companion, Akeno, stood nearby, poised and calm. Naruko raised an eyebrow and crossed her arms. "So, Gremory-chan, what's so important that you dragged me here?" she asked, letting herself plop onto the nearest couch, stretching her legs out in front of her. Rias gave her a small frown but remained polite. "Naruko-san, thank you for coming, even if a bit late. I need some assistance." Naruko tilted her head. "Assistance? With what?" Rias sighed. "It involves your friend, Hayao Issei, and a young nun associated with the fallen angels. She has gotten herself into trouble, and I cannot intervene directly without upsetting the balance of things." Naruko's eyes twinkled with curiosity. "So, you want me to help rescue her?" In a manner of speaking, Rias replied. "You, Akeno, and I will create a distraction to help Issei reach the nun safely. Once she is rescued, I can ensure she is safe without causing any political problems for my family." Naruko leaned back, her expression thoughtful. "Sounds like an adventure. But what's in it for me?" "You'll have the chance to do something exciting," Akeno said with a small smile. "And Naruko-san, I know you enjoy a good challenge." Rias nodded. "And I will owe you a favor, of course. A small token of gratitude." Naruko's grin spread wide. "All right then. Exciting challenge, new friends to help. And a favor? Count me in." Standing up, she looked out the window toward the abandoned church on the outskirts of Kuo. A spark of mischief shone in her silver eyes. Let's see what adventures await. Time to make some trouble, in a good way, of course. And with that, Naruko set off, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, her heart full of excitement and the promise of a new adventure. Dear YouTube family, this is all for now. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more exciting updates. Thank you for your support. Warm regards. Anime Octopus.